Welcome to In the Stiffs podcast with me, Sam Aiston. I'm joined by my friends and former Shrewsbury teammates, Gavin Cowan and Dave Edwards.
Big thank you to our sponsors, the brilliant Budgeon Motors, kindly sponsoring us in this third series. A family-owned business of 40 years with exceptional customer service. Loads of competitive deals on new and used cars.
Get yourselves down there. Right, welcome everybody. First episode of Series 3. A thank you to our sponsor. Oh no. But have we got a sponsor yet, Gav?
I haven't had an email through.
So nothing from Budgeon?
Not yet.
Right.
I've called 742 times and I've emailed 848.
Right. By the time this goes out, though, we might have Budgeon as a sponsor, might we? So we don't want to...
Well, until what we'll do is we'll endorse Budgeon hopefully in the next episode, but not now.
Okay.
If they're not on the next episode,
don't go to Budgeon.
Do not buy your cars from Budgeon.
So
cars are rubbish.
Give it a couple of weeks until you decide whether you're going to go and buy a car from Budgeon.
And we'll have to cut this bit. If we end up getting sponsored by Tesco's, we'll have to cut this bit about Budgeon.
I think in our desire to try and sabotage Budgeon, it's had a bit of an opposite effect. We've said Budgeon about 400 times.
Budgeon must have made a few quid from us, do you reckon?
They've had more money out of us in the last 30 seconds than we mentioned them in the whole previous episode.
Anyway, moving on. I've got an itinerary. Dates and times for Series 3. We haven't got anything fixed yet, have we? But we're going to just try and fit it in. We're going to try and release this episode today. But we're going to try and...
September the 12th.
We're going to try and do an episode...
What a good start to the season, Gav's had at Brackley.
Flip it, we're flying. We're flying.
Gav's either been sacked or they're flying. Like,
can we not say that, please?
Sorry, you won't be sacked. You won't be sacked. But Series 3 is next time. We're going to get some guests on. Dave's going to ring... You're going to ring... We've got Gareth Bale, haven't we?
Not confirmed. Not confirmed.
Flipping it.
He hasn't said no yet.
Yeah.
Do you want me to call him? Do you want me to sort it out? All right, Gal.
Now you've got a bit more status because you're the Brackley manager. You might have a bit more pull.
Yeah.
I think in the past, like...
He'll probably, if I say it's Gav, he'll probably straight away go, Brackley.
Yeah. Well, I think he follows the Conference North, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
Oh, it's massive on it, yeah.
I'd imagine.
He's massive on it. Right. Anyway, we haven't met up since the live show. That is mental. Why haven't we met since then?
We've seen each other, haven't we? But not as a four with Wits here as well.
We had a couple of beers in the White Horse, didn't we?
Who did?
Us three. Oh no, it was all good.
What?
Oh, no.
Which three?
Oh, that was me and you, Dave, wasn't it?
It was lunch.
Yeah, no, we went to...
we did, yeah.
Yeah, we did. Had a few beers there. We've met a couple of times, haven't we?
It's been
just not in an official capacity.
It's been difficult because, I mean, we'll come on to it in a minute. Obviously, you've got a new job at Brackley and Dave's retired and is pretty... I mean, he's rushed off his feet with all them golf and holidays.
That's horrendous.
Can't get a minute to himself, can he?
Your skin has never looked so beautiful.
Yeah, he looks... He's just... I mean, hopefully... This is on YouTube, isn't it? Wait, so yes, we're on YouTube. By the way, we need another 20 followers to get 1,000, don't we? And
Please follow.
Yeah.
Please follow. But, so hopefully if you look on YouTube, Dave's skin looks amazing. Like, he looks like half Portuguese, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But with blonde hair. He's like a cross between...
Like Scandinavian, that's what you look. Look amazing.
Yeah, he's a cross between...
Freddie Lundberg.
He's a cross between Cristiano Ronaldo... and Oliver Kahn. He's German.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, we'll come back to that one. I'll come up with a better one.
The live show, Dave, how do you think the live show was?
Oh, I loved it. It was what an amazing night. We were so nervous, weren't we? We put in so much work as well. It was intense. We had sort of the 6 weeks leading up to it. It was non-stop, wasn't it? Us working on things, making sure it could be as good a production as possible. And then for it all to come together on the night, as well as what it did. The guests were amazing. The audience, full house, Theatre Severn, main auditorium. Like, what a night. It'll obviously stay with me for the rest of my life. It was a special night, wasn't it? And thank you to everyone who bought a ticket. Thank you to everyone who came.
Yeah.
Hope you all had a good time as well. I'm sure you did. It was a great laugh. But
I've had some great feedback.
An amazing night.
Yeah, I've had some great feedback from so many people. And like you say, there was a lot of effort put into it because we realised, especially in the current climate, people coming out, spending money just to be there to look at us and watch us. It was, pretty special, wasn't it?
Most definitely.
How do you think it compared, Dave, like nerve-wise, to playing in the Premier League?
Loads worse.
Worse?
Yeah, I think it's the most nervous I've ever been for something. Individual thing.
Can we talk about the walk-on just before we went on? The pacing up and down and the...
And it got delayed because you numpties who came to the show couldn't get away from the bar. So they had to delay it 10 minutes. And we were all waiting backstage ready to come on.
So I don't know if this is fact, but this is what I heard. That's the most amount of money they've taken before a show ever.
On the night for the bar at Theatre Severn.
It's the most amount of money they've taken.
At the bar, yeah. And
we didn't get a penny of it.
I was going to say, right, like...
Fuming.
Don't want to whinge, but Theatre Severn took a lot of money, didn't they? I mean, we're obviously they've got a good venue there, haven't they? If you're from Shrewsbury, you've got to use actually can't 650 people in, but they charge a lot, don't they?
They'd
like I'm not using them again.
We're going to the Ponsbury Social Club.
Yeah. I'll come to the pantomime at Christmas, but I'm not buying a drink. I'm still angry. Anyway. So it's actually more nerve-wracking there than you think. They've been in the tunnel for a game.
Like obviously you do a bit of public speaking at school. I know it's obviously in front of children and stuff, but it's different. But how did you feel?
I think I felt really nervous as well. I think we all did, didn't we? Because it's just out of your comfort zone. I don't know, yeah. I mean, I think because we prepared well. I think if you prepare well, we sort of had an idea that our script was going to be okay, didn't we? I know it obviously went off script quite a bit, but we had an idea what we were doing. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Gav, compared to playing football?
Well, when you've played away at Blythe.
In the cold room that is Blythe.
There's nothing that can compare to that, you know? No, I would say that I think we were naturally nervous. I think that's the best thing I could say about it. There wasn't any...
I think that's worse than being unnaturally nervous.
You know, I just think that like I wasn't concerned about it going wrong. I was just obviously...
Well, you know, I just felt that...
we were so well prepared.
A lot of people had come. They'd paid good money to come.
That was
and it
the
felt
bit.
like a pressure to put on a show.
We didn't want to let anyone down. The people that were obviously going so far above and beyond to be there and going out of their way because they listen to the show and obviously value what we do, which is great. I wasn't bothered about it going wrong because, again, I think you said it actually. What could go wrong? Even if one of us fell off the stage, it would have just been hilarious. So
Mossy nearly did.
Yeah,
twice.
I think I was just naturally nervous, which was fine. I quite enjoyed the nerves, but it was definitely nerve wracking just before we went on.
Who was your favourite guest, Gav?
Oh, that's a tough one because there was some brilliant ones.
I'm going to put up the WhatsApp group. Whoever you see it. I'm going to put on that you didn't like whoever you don't see it now.
Yeah, I love. Obviously, it's funny because obviously me and Jodie had a bit of a go at each other, but me and Jodie speak sort of every week, so we're quite close. So
that wasn't great in terms of Jodie was one of the last ones out, and he was noticeably getting drunker throughout the night.
I wanted him to though, because I wanted him to make a fool of himself, because that would have been a pleasure for me.
When we went back in at half time, they were all steaming.
They were gone. Yeah.
And the problem is with Jodie, if he falls over, you can't get him back up.
No.
that low centre of gravity.
He's like an armadillo, isn't he?
Yeah. If he falls over, we won't get him up. Like
my favourite guest, hands down, Dave Cook. I thought he was so funny, value for money. I think everyone I've spoke to, who came to watch, just thought he was a comedian.
I thought Tolly come across really well.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tolly's got a bit of a perception about him and how he's been sort of when he was living in and around Shrewsbury. I thought he come across really well. I thought he was quite funny as well. Dave Cook, brilliant. Tino, beautiful.
Tino looked amazing.
Stunning.
He was brilliant.
Tino now he must be like nearly 70. He looked amazing.
Yeah. And Mossy, because he'd had a bit, he was good, I thought, Mossy.
I thought Sedge was good when he went there.
Sedge is the one for me. There it is. Sedge, yeah. I forgot.
We had Jake Sedgemore. He played right back. He played left back. He played centre off. He played centre midfield. He played right midfield. He was absolutely shit everywhere.
Sedge is brilliant. I'd go as far as say I reckon Sedge was probably my most enjoyable guest. I think he's so dry.
Dry Wolverhampton accent.
Kills you. He could kill you in a heartbeat.
Did we miss Jimmy Quinn?
No, I don't think so. But not that we've got anything to compare it to.
I think he obviously would have added to it when being the manager, but yeah, it wasn't. When we initially found out he couldn't come, we were a bit worried, weren't we? But I don't think it impacted the night in a negative way.
He's left the WhatsApp group anyway, and so like I'm pleased he didn't come.
Yeah,
I'm still wanting to come to Shrewsbury for a Q&A with Cookie though.
Actually, scrap that bit with. We run for Q&A in Shrewsbury. Right. Anyway, moving on. Dave Edwards has officially retired. Dave, how is that feeling for you?
Still getting used to it, I think. I actually spoke to you about it a few weeks ago, and it's that moment now where it's up to me whether I go in the gym. It's up to me whether I go for a run. It's not someone telling me I've got to do it. It's not me knowing I have to do it because I can't fall behind the other lads. And I've got that choice.
Are you finding it hard to fit in your fitness in between your golf and your holidays?
Golf is exercise. But no, I'm really determined to stay fit and to stay in the gym. But I'm enjoying actually doing different stuff, like different types of training. There's a lot of stuff you can't do as a footballer, which is kind of, won't negatively impact your performance, but you've got a very specific way of training, haven't you, when you play football? You've sort of, you know what's good, and you'll continue to do that, whereas I'm doing different stuff now, and I'm enjoying it. And then
what are you doing fitness wise?
So I used to do a lot of cross country when I was younger, and once I was playing football, sort of like trail running in the sort of Shropshire Hills and that. Never did it when I was playing. Yeah, rolling ankles. It's not the same type of fitness, is it? You need to be sort of shorter, sharper, those distances. So I've been doing some of that. Been doing some more sort of high intensity weighted stuff in the gym. But just when I feel like it, and on the days where I don't feel great, I just go for a walk or whatever and don't do it. And that's nice, thinking I have to do it. Or the nights where if I fancy a few biscuits or I fancy a beer, I can have it and it's not going to be the end of the world, but I just got to be careful not to let it take over and put on too much weight.
Obviously seeing the lads going back to pre-season, speaking to Gav about pre-season, seeing the Shrewsbury lads, you don't miss that?
No, not this point of the season. I think when the season starts, you'll miss that, because we spoke about it, like when you're a footballer, you have that end goal of the week on a Saturday when you play, and everything builds up to that Saturday. Whereas now, I haven't got that end point of the week. What I am really enjoying is another thing which you've said, Sam, which you enjoy, is when you do get to the end of a working week from a normal Monday to Friday, how much you enjoy a Friday night.
Yeah.
You've been all over the place with work, with kids and all sorts of stuff, and I try and be healthy in the week as well and do my exercise, and on Friday night, get home, kids are in, me and my wife Emma are in, and you can just sit, chill, have some nice food, have a drink, and you're not worried about the weekend too much. It just kind of rolls over into that, whereas, again, football dictates everything when you're in it.
I think we'll come on to you, Gav, in a minute, because you're back in that Friday night. Friday night when you're a footballer, it's not family time, is it? Because your mind is on the game, aren't you? So that can be the worst time, I think, as a family, where you're trying to be relaxed, but you are a bit edgy, aren't you? Whereas you haven't got that, you've got the nice bit. And then coming on to you, Gav.
Yeah.
Big news, isn't it? And the new Brackley Town manager.
Yeah. National news, international news.
But it's a massive deal, isn't it? You know, he did amazing. Did he tell us how that came about then?
Well, I've been quite lucky, really, because I've spoken to a lot of people.
Unbelievably lucky.
Even yeah. Someone say it's incredible. I was out of it for 18 months from my previous role, and when you go in and you're still active, but no one sees what you're doing. You know, there's no results to refer to, so you're going in and you're shadowing people. And I'm lucky I've got some really great friends in football that I was able to do that. And then a couple of opportunities come my way that didn't quite fit with, obviously, Crossbar and with family. But yeah, I got off the plane when I got back from Dubai with the family, and literally turned my phone on, and a lad I played with was a lot younger than me, like my protege, if you like, and I was sort of like a mentor to him, that sort of role. He was the player manager, Gaz Dean. He was the club captain. Manager had been let go, and they'd asked him, they'd sort of said to him, look, you're injured for the season. Doesn't get injured very often, so it was a rare thing. And he was like, look, can you come in and support? And thankfully, like, I had a conversation with him, and he said, look, you know, like, can you just come and watch one of the games and give your input? So I did, and then it was like, look, can you come in and maybe support? And I played a very distant role in the background, just offering some advice and some support from obviously the experience that I'd gathered. And being in and around a club, it was a club that it felt very much like those players were very similar to how I was when I played, you know, like really good mentalities, and it's really good looking and in great shape. But they were really good lads, and like the people around the club, and the biggest compliment I give to them is they're a community club. It's a real amazing place, really, but they're a community club, but they've got loads of ambition. You know, and they've got an owner who wants to do it in the right way, organically, not just throw a load of money at it. They've got really good people who are local and want it to achieve. And yeah, in the end, I was around the place, and they'd sort of said through Gaz, was I looking to apply? Which I wasn't, actually, because I didn't want to sort of undermine the fact that Gaz had asked me to come in, and then I'm sort of going for the job. But actually, he sort of said to me, look, you know, I think you should really go for it. So
can you talk us through that recruitment process? Because obviously, I mean, there'll be a million listeners who've all had job interviews and everything like that. How does that compare?
A million listeners, did you just say?
A million listeners.
Yeah, Series 3.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
I don't like the negative
Don't
action.
you on about Dave?
I couldn't get very far with that, are we?
Yeah,
so talk us through the recruitment process, because everybody will have been in interviews in different ways. How does that work?
But it's really flattering, because there was a lot of obviously like really good experienced people who went for the job, because it is a really good job. You know, it's a really good, well-established club.
Like, you hear the jobs available. There's not an advert in the local paper or How do you know that a job's available?
It becomes, in the football fraternity, it becomes common knowledge. And because I'm supporting Gaz, I just felt as part of my integrity, going for the job probably wasn't the right thing, because Gaz
he was interim manager.
Yeah, and he'd asked me to come in, and I just didn't think it looked great. But then he'd sort of asked me, look, they're sort of making noises. I think you should go for it. I think you'd be great for it, etc.
Write a CV?
Yes, a CV went in, and then obviously there's a presentation, interview, then you have to come up with a...
Did you do that in your pants?
I was asked, yeah, of course, obvious. If I wanted to impress, of course I was going to. But then, yeah, so it's the presentation and interview, and the interview was really good. I wouldn't say it was informal, but it was quite relaxed, and they made you feel really good and that they were interested and wanted you around the club. And then, yeah, there was it's like a 3-page addendum on your thoughts of the club and where it needs to go, with like a 3-page dossier with an extra page addendum. Then you have to give forecast of budgets of where you see it, where it needs to go. And yeah, they don't give you these jobs easy, and there was some really high profile people going for it. So I wasn't sure where I stood. I felt like I'd been in and around the place, and for them to ask me to apply was obviously they'd felt as though I'd had a good impact around the place. And then, yeah, luckily enough, I got the call just to say, look, pleased to say you've got the job.
Amazing. What was that feeling like?
Because I'd been in and around it, and it is an excellent club, and they've had real good success, and they're good people, and the players are just a dream to work with. Yeah, I was so excited because, again, I'd had a couple of opportunities, and they were in various like under 23s or, maybe non-league and in various capacities. I was... you're almost eager and desperate, and you're like, do I snatch at this opportunity? But I'd sort of bided my time, and after 18 months, you think, is it ever going to come around, the right one? And then this just was, and again, yeah, I mean, I'm probably 5-6 weeks into the job now, all the recruitment done, pre-season tour, fixtures, off-season programme, pre-season programme, and we're ready to hit the ground running.
Knowing your personality, and in particular with football, the detail you go into and how much it will consume your mind, was it a big decision in terms of your family? Was Holly thinking, no, he's back in football, that means his mind is going to be 100% on football all the time, where it hasn't been the case, obviously, the last 18 months? To a degree, you've been thinking about it, but not when you're a manager, it's completely different.
Yeah, the first thing is we've enjoyed the 18 months of being a real family, holidays and togetherness and really focusing. And that won't change. But obviously, Holly was the first one I went to and spoke to and just said, look, what are your thoughts?
For me?
Yeah, just before you. It was only because I phoned you, but you didn't pick up. You didn't pick up, so I'd called her. But yeah, she was very, very much like, I know it's an itch you want to scratch. I will always support you in what you want to do. And she's been a dream. And like, to be fair to her, the first month, I mean, I literally wasn't off the phone. And it got to a point where I was very aware that we were barely talking and having conversations. And she's been incredibly supportive. And as the kids are excited, and they can't wait to meet especially the boys.
We're going to go down to a game, aren't we, Sam?
100%.
Take our boys.
We've just been looking at it. It's not easy to get to by train, is it?
Car, really easy.
Car, yeah. I mean, anybody in Shrewsbury, drive down.
Yeah. You don't have to go by train. Yeah.
If anybody's got a 7-seater and fancies driving me and Sam and the kids down.
Is that me? Are you talking about me there?
Anybody's got a 7-seater will come down. Yeah. But hopefully we'll get a lot of people going down there. It's going to be exciting, isn't it? And you've got a real chance. You're happy with your squad.
I'm really happy with the recruitment. They're a great group. I mean, just even going off training last night, it's we filmed training, so I was just literally, before we met, I was having a little look through last night, and yeah, they're a great group. Their mentality's great, and everything's there. Where in my previous role, obviously, I felt like we were swimming against the tide, budget wise, and yeah, obviously it's a tough role, isn't it? You
didn't like the rubbish Telford, don't
you? No, it was
hands tied a little bit at Telford. Budget restrictions.
Yeah, budget restrictions. Obviously, there's really high expectation, and you've not got a lot to work with, and that's just the nature of it. That's not me trying to.
I think time will tell now that you did well at Telford when you look what's happened.
Yeah, 100%.
we can say this now, and I know it's. Yeah, I know some people have different opinions, but it's quite obvious when you look.
Well, we had a lot to contend with.
What you did when you were there, the position they were in, and now look at their unfortunate situation.
Yeah, I've felt privileged to have the job. I never say we had the worst budget, but we had the lowest budget. Resources were tough, and that just comes from the nature of the job. And I'll never feel like hard done by, because I was the one who accepted the job, knowing the circumstances.
And it's a great chance for you, a great opportunity.
Oh, unbelievable!
Club, yeah, you had a lot of affinity too.
Absolutely. So we had two pandemics which curtailed the season, and you had a lot to contend with, and it was like an apprenticeship for me. You got to see the best and the worst of football, and it was at times it was really hard. So
do you not think that's a bit mental? That was like your first managerial job. It's like Steven Gerrard and things, and Frank Lampard. You're early in your managerial career and you get written off. And most professions, you're learning the job, especially as a teacher. You have like early career teachers in the first couple of years, you get looked after because you're learning it. In football management, you've basically got one crack at it, and then you get written off it when you're...
We might come on to talk about Shrewsbury in a bit, but the new Shrewsbury manager said that. He was at Walsall. Yeah. Things didn't go well for him, and he's openly said in his first interview, this is his last chance, which is bizarre in Football League management.
Crazy, yeah.
And he's he's 41 years old.
It's like being an apprentice on a building site, isn't it? You're learning your craft.
I think with me though, I'm aware of everything that's gone on with my time at Telford, and I will, as you know, I'll always be honest. I think we did an extraordinary job there. I'm not saying only me, but my staff as well, because we had a very small budget.
Can I say you did an extraordinary job at Telford? Can I retweet that on Twitter?
Yes, please, please do.
See what happens. See what I get up.
Yeah, because again, though, like it is an extraordinary job because you have got a low budget. Yeah, you have got massive expectations because it is a big club.
And look what's happened now.
I feel enough times past now so you can really judge it, can't you?
Yeah.
Whereas obviously straight
and
afterwards,
we never even mentioned relegation. I mean, we had a tough start at the start of my fourth season. We had a tough start, but before that, we never even mentioned relegation. You know, and I think there's a lot that people don't know where we went massively above and beyond for the role. It was there's things that people won't know and that probably doesn't shed a lot of class if you do mention it, that you do that are so far above and beyond that people wouldn't expect that of anyone. Yeah. And we did it because not just for selfless reasons. We did it because obviously it was an opportunity, like you said, and we wanted to be successful. And I think looking at it now, with the low budget that we had, and I know they had investment when we left, and even then it hasn't gone great. Listen, if everybody know all of the ingredients to the cake, they'd realise it was a pretty extraordinary job we did. And again, that's not just focused on me. I had some really good people helping me and supporting me who were doing the same roles, and I was just, I suppose it was my name above the door. But what it's done is as well, it's created a great platform for me to achieve loads of things, make loads of mistakes, and then going into the Brackley job, now I see it so clearly, and I'm lucky that I have got resources. There are no excuses now. I'll be quick to say that we were swimming against the tide in my previous role, but in this one, there's no excuses now. We have the support, we have the resources, we have a budget that is competitive for certainly a top 7. There's no excuses now. So I'll be the first one to say that, we did really well in that role, and now it's on me now.
Yeah, you'll smash it. Yeah, no doubt.
So all new for you then, exciting times.
Yeah, really good.
Me retiring, I'm going through different things. Before you say anything, Sam, you've had
what's changed in your life, Sam?
You've been a bit uneventful the last few months, Sam.
I nearly burnt my hands off.
Go on.
So I had an incident at my house, didn't I? Whereas I ended up getting blue lighted to the QE in Birmingham because my hands were on fire, basically. So I was in hospital for a week. Really, really tricky time, but I've come out of it all right. And my hands are obviously, it's not very good for a podcast, is it? But my hands are on the mend. 6 weeks down.
What happened with your face? Are you going to tell the audience about that? Because everyone will be wondering.
I was in hospital with both my arms up. I just got everybody going. Everybody who came to visit me. Gav was brilliant, come to visit me. Dave didn't, but never mind. It's
just golfing, mate.
It was difficult for Dave.
I phoned Dave, mate, just to let you know we've got a bit of a situation. He explains, like, mate, I'm literally just on the fairway. Can I call you back?
I'm on the back nine. Like, I want to come and see Sam, but I'm on the back nine. Now the weather's beautiful. I'm not coming. It was brilliant. Everybody said to me was going, "Oh my goodness, look at that!" So obviously you've really burnt your hands and your face. I was like, no, water, no pipes touched my face. It was just my hands. Why is your face like that? But Gav, you did a good job of looking after me, didn't you? Got me water distiller, and I'm on the mend now.
Yeah, that was all we needed, wasn't it? I said to the doctors, I went into the Birmingham QE. I went, guys, out of the way, please. I've got a water distiller here.
Water distiller, available in cold fruit. And I'm on
yeah.
But in all seriousness, paramedics are unbelievable. So the fire service turned up, amazing. Got amazingly well looked after at the QE by all the nurses. Brilliant network of friends, all the lads coming to see me, my wife, all my family. And I did all my exercise and did everything right. The National Health Service is incredible, amazing. And if you follow their advice, you'll be right as rain. So actually now my hands look better than what they did before.
I said you look like Lino from Thundercats.
Obviously it's not really working. I'm trying to show people, but it's not really working on the podcast.
But it was severe, wasn't it, at the time?
Severe,
really severe.
They still don't look.
Yeah, I think it's important, like, because where they are now. I mean, it's incredible to think what they look like right at the start. I mean, I thought you were in for like a year's long
I thought I
rehab.
was going to have no hands, so I was like contemplating whether or not I'd have been like Captain Hook or Thanos. I always had to be Thanos.
Yeah, Thanos. Yeah.
But I thought I might have no hands. But obviously, it's all.
Yeah, it's important we don't.
Everybody, cause I got loads of amazing messages off people, even people I didn't really know. Sending me loads of messages, so that was great. Because I didn't put anything on social media. So great.
You got an excuse not to put your hand in your pocket now as well. Like when his hands were burnt, he was like, I can't buy a drink, because I was like, oh, here we go, that old one.
And also, it's coincided with I've got a new job, haven't I? Obviously, I think anybody who follows me on social media will know that's literally all I ever put on about me. New amazing school at Bowbrook. Got a new batch of children starting in September. It's going to be unbelievable. If you've got a 3 or 4 year old, you need to get them in there. Best school not only in Shrewsbury, not only in Shropshire, in the world.
Is there an email address, Sam, that they need to contact?
Yeah. Just check out the website. But yeah, everyone's been brilliant and we're on the mend. And fortunately, the good news for Gav is my hands obviously are damaged, but my feet are absolutely fine. So if Brackley are looking for number 10.
Number 10.
Yeah.
We've actually released the squad list today on social media, and it's missing the number 10.
I've seen it. That's what I mean. That's why I mentioned.
I reckon it's about to go out now.
It's one of us.
In all seriousness, Gav, what about Dave? Would you have Dave at Brackley?
Dave who? Oh, Edwards. Oh,
I haven't had no missed calls.
Anyway, we're gonna go to Dave's.
Mate, every time I try and call him, there's no signal. He's on the fairway.
Yeah. I mean, obviously Dave says he's retired, but looking at that, I mean, we played in the charity game. Anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, which I think if you're listening to this, you probably do know. Dave had his charity game, which was amazing. Shrewsbury Town against Wolves, 4-3 to Shrewsbury. If anybody's seen any of the pictures, basically there's me on there in Shrewsbury 4, Wolves 3.
It was the cover photo from the game, wasn't it?
Suggesting that I was the difference. I was anything but. But anyway, we'll move on to that in a little bit. But Dave,
you shared it a lot, though.
I shared it again.
He texted me saying, "Can you share it?"
I put it on the family group. Can everybody share this, please? Got a lot of positive feedback from anybody who wasn't at the game. But in all seriousness, Dave, Dave was amazing, wasn't he? He was annoying though, wasn't how good Dave was.
I was fuming with you. And you know why I was fuming with you. So he set the teams up as a 4-4-2 and a 4-2-3-1, and he played in the 10.
Yeah, it was annoying.
And you had me running in. Remember, you know what you were doing. He was like, he's playing in the 10. So I was, obviously as a centre half, he's going to feet, so I'm having to step in. Then he's threatening to run behind, and I'm 42 years old, and he's like pretending to run behind. Then he's checking again. And I think you did it about 4 times. And then as he went, I won't even say on air what I said to him.
Grip me.
But I was like, don't fuck it, like, and then he ran off the other way and did it to someone else.
He was so irritating. That first half was ridiculous, wasn't it? We got absolutely battered. Like, I mean, hopefully Carl Henry's got to move off the back of that. He's good enough, but I hope he has. Good luck to him.
Maybe it wasn't for me and Sads. I don't know.
And what a decision to start with Sam Aiston, Jamie Tolley and Chris Humphreys across the midfield in the first half. It was like, Buey come on, second half, absolutely ripped it up. He's only 36, Buey. Like, isn't he still playing? And
he was incredible, wasn't he?
Wolves didn't have the numbers to make the change.
No, they didn't. Yeah. We knew that, but that's what we knew, didn't we? We knew we'd get them in the end.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
Did we? I don't know. I was in the dugout second half, fortunately, when they come back.
I know, I was doing the rotating fingers.
Tell us about that. And Dave, how did it all go? Raised a lot of money and stuff?
Yeah, it was class. It was obviously straight off the back of the live show. It was straight into organising that. Again, a lot of work goes into it behind the scenes. The guys at the foundation and at Shrewsbury Town Foundation and Little Rascals Foundation, who we're raising money for, were amazing helping out. But obviously, a lot of it fell on me as well to organise, getting people there on time, people dropping out late on and things like that doesn't help, organising kits and just wanting to make sure.
Mickey Gray dropped out, didn't
tickets.
he?
Mickey dropped out, yeah.
I would have bullied him. Sam Ricketts is 10 years younger than him. He was too quick, wasn't he?
Yeah, he megged me. Sam Ricketts right at the end. I was fuming.
If Mickey was there, I'd have bullied him.
He didn't mean to meg me, though. It was a fumble, Megs. He didn't mean to do it.
It was clean, mate.
Fuming with him.
It was clean.
I tried to chase him and kick him. I couldn't catch him.
Don't chase anyone.
No.
but exactly like the live show, it was just more worrying about people having a good time. Just didn't want it to be a complete load of shit or anything like that. The weather held out for us as well. It was quite good. I was a bit worried. Obviously, the end of March, you never know what it's going to be like. And then just the amount of people who turned up to help out. Wits came along, helped out on the day. But like so many people just come.
I didn't see you there, Wits.
But the people giving up their own time on a Sunday just to come and help out, it was quite humbling. And then for what 3,000 or 4,000 people to turn up
What a
on their
turnout.
Sundays to turn up. It was incredible, and it was a good game as well. Obviously, entertaining score, but some really good goals, some really good quality.
So obviously we didn't know how it was going to transpire, did we? But I thought, right, this is either going to go, you have it, we have it, you have it, we have it, or it's going to be full. But in about 30 seconds, I'd flown into about three tackles. I was flipping run up, run down. I was out of breath. I thought, this is a proper game.
I think Carl Henry set the tempo,
Yeah.
didn't he? Straight away, he hates losing, Carl, and straight he was ratting after everyone. He was filing, he was pulling shirts, and it just turned into a proper game of football then,
Yeah,
didn't it?
proper. Yeah, it was. I remember I flew into a tackle really early and thinking to myself, but it was full on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Carl Henry has got to be the best example of the nicest guy off the field,
Just
but
switches on
the
it,
most competitive on it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Most
What a lovely
definitely.
guy.
Top player as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was brilliant. Some of the goals were incredible. Jarvo scored a couple of great ones for
He's
Wolves.
got there, isn't he?
My
Jarvo
one,
did well.
my one, the
The
first
one
one.
that,
yeah,
came
go
off
on.
your fringe.
Tell us that, Gav. Tell us that.
Ball come in, as it's going, glanced it, far corner, and everyone's gone celebrating with Pewey.
I know, that's what I thought. Your head reminded me of Rudd Hullett, 1988 European Cup final.
That's exactly what I was saying. When I did it,
celebrating with Pewey.
when I-
Mate, did you see me? I was going, great goal, Gav. Everybody celebrating with Pewey.
when I headed it, I shouted, "Hull it!" Yeah, that's what.
If we can get some footage to compare yours to Hullett's, it was identical.
I even had someone send me a video, and it slowed down, and I've scored the goal.
Ball's gone. The ball would have gone the other corner.
I think so. I think so.
And Holty scored a great goal, didn't he? Grant?
Yeah.
That was the second.
Was
best goal
there
of the game.
anyone for you guys playing against Wolves who you would have thought were decent players, but you were surprised with how good they were?
Yeah, in the middle,
Who?
Dave Jones.
Dave Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Left foot centre
Sorry,
midfielder.
yeah. 'Cause I didn't really know a lot about
just-
him. Like, I wouldn't really know
Yeah,
much.
Man United came through
Yeah.
at Preston.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just
to
playing a
Wolves.
different sport when
It's just, it's difficult, isn't it? Because everybody's like, a few of them are different ages, aren't they?
Yeah.
Jody, I was chatting to obviously Jody Craddock's my mate, and he was saying like, he said he was the oldest, and I was like, he's older than me, so I was the second oldest. But then Andy Cook come on. I was surprised at Dave Jones, and I thought, like,
I think
wow.
he'd only been playing the year
But
before.
how
though.
old's he?
Jones
He's
is
not
my
old.
age.
Yeah,
Jones is my age, and he was player.
Yeah, I mean,
he was
that's
player coach at Wrexham last year as well.
and Dave set the teams up.
Yeah, Dave killed us.
4-4, the overload in midfield.
he-
You've
He's
absolutely.
done us no favours.
And Dave was the overload. So everyone's like, Dave, look how
100%
Dave's still got it. And I was like, no wonder he's still got
Yeah,
it.
flipping. Like, he's in the number 10 there. He's absolutely bossing
rip,
it.
yeah.
He's got Jones and Carl Henry just feeding
Me-
the ball.
me
He's on
and
the
Matt Sadler.
He's on the half turn. Sam Ricketts is bombing on. He's got Chris
Jarvis.
Humphries, Jamie Colley and Sam Aiston against him. He's absolutely going, this is all right.
Me and Matt Sadler didn't know whether to stick or twist.
Oh, he did all right, didn't he?
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
quite fit.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
old is he?
he's
He's not old, is he?
I think he might be a year above me, maybe, Sads.
I'll tell you who struggled.
Walsall manager now as well.
Sam
Sads, isn't
Aiston.
Yeah, Sam. Yeah, him. That's it.
Tolly struggled.
Simesy.
Sim-
struggled.
yeah.
Simesy struggled with
Simesy
hamstring, didn't he?
Simesy, when he got into that, when it went in the corner.
Yeah. Fair play to Tino coming on. I didn't realise how old Tino was.
Yeah.
And I asked him to play just thinking because he looks about,
Yeah.
40 max, doesn't he?
Because me,
Is he 50?
I want to say he's in his 50s, Tino.
me and Sads didn't.
And I was like, you're out for 45. He's like, oh no,
yeah,
I'll
he
just
weren't
play
having
10
it.
minutes.
He pulled me, and like we were saying, like
I genuinely didn't realise how old he was.
Yeah.
me and Sads didn't really want to come off, but I'm sitting there thinking, there's a proper legend there on the bit. He can't come all this way, and I'm like, so I've done the signal to come off, and Tino's come on. He's gone, I said 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, right, yeah.
Get on with it, and you're going, he's 54.
And what about the? We did like a competition, like a raffle to buy a place on the team, and it raised loads of money. But those two lads, what an unbelievable experience for them.
Yeah.
How good were they?
Like,
Yeah, the young Shrewsbury lad who came on.
yeah, he was
Flipping
good. But
heck.
even the Wolves lad who
Yeah,
come
yeah.
on, he was better than me.
The Wolves lad was like Alan Cork.
Yeah.
And
He chested one down, span, like, lost me.
The Shrewsbury player, yeah. So Shea Sterry, he plays for the shadow squad, the under 15, 16s, I think, or under 16s.
Is he a keeper?
So he's 15. He's a keeper for the shadow squad, but he came on first half right back, and he nutmegged Stephen Hunt.
That's it. Oh, yeah.
And that is the
it.
one person you want to nutmeg. He
mate.
would have got fired up there. He was trying to smash him. I was like, oh, Shea, just stay away from him.
He's
Shea,
40,
stay
he's
away
40,
from him.
he's 15, trying to smash.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he weren't happy about that. But what about when he pulled that save off in the second?
Oh, I know, yeah. Yeah,
I mean, I wasn't on
big
then.
one-on-ones.
They don't have many shots when I play that.
So it was great.
Yeah.
Raised over 20 grand between the two charities.
Wow, amazing.
Amazing.
Incredible.
Amazing.
So thank you
And it was-
everyone who come along
quality.
and donated and
good
paid
fun,
for
though. You know
tickets.
what's great? Getting like the lads together.
Yeah.
In the dressing room beforehand, there's nothing like it, was there? Like we had, like, obviously Dave wasn't in our dressing room, but you went to Wolves one,
Yeah.
big time.
Overload.
Networking.
Heads in your bet. He was going, oh, where shall I? I want a job in the media after this. Where shall I go? Oh, I want the Wolves one with Matt Murray and that. But, it was great. I won it with the lads.
Mickey Brown, talk about Mickey Brown coming as manager, suited and booted.
Oh, he had a right. He's clueless. Did not have a clue, did he? He had the bit of paper. He was full on. What's it called? The one of 442. Who's it?
Mike Bassett.
Mike Bassett. He was full on Mike Bassett.
Yeah.
Terrible, wasn't he?
Just started doing burpees because he fell out of his depth.
He couldn't do a team talk. He was trying to do a team talk. I was like, I thought he was going to be good at that. I thought it was a job. You know, like
Personal
get people
trainer.
going, personal trainer. Like,
When he started talking, I started taking my pants off. He was like trying to get us all into bed.
He didn't have a clue what he was doing. I'm blaming him a little bit for the formation.
Dave sort of set it all up. It weren't him.
Was it
Dave
manipulated
strategically,
that.
strategically had us over there.
It was a bit embarrassing. I come off at the end.
For that.
I come off at the end, obviously, bearing in mind I tell my boys how to play football like every single day. And they walked off and they just come over and all their mates are there and everything. They've just got, and both of them have just gone, Dad, you were awful. You keep telling me to get on the ball, to go outside and do this, do that. You didn't do any of that. I was like, well, do as I say, not do as I do.
Yeah.
Brilliant. No, it was like literally, it was like, I know, pardon the comment, it was like rolling back the years, wasn't it? Having all the lads together, even the chairman coming down to the change room, like,
when he came
real
in.
nice moments, like members of staff which you haven't seen for ages. We had Rachel Greenley came along, didn't she? Chris Skip
Rachel's
came
there,
along.
yeah.
So loads of people from the past, not just the players, people working at the club. It was just nice. And like Witz will say as well, Witz seeing people that he's worked with for the last 15, 20 years. It's just nice to get together again, wasn't it?
100%.
Oh, it was amazing. I loved it. It was lovely. Yes, Rachel. I got a massage, didn't I? Rachel's come in. Who was it? It was, what's his name? He's Skitty. He's giving me a massage. I thought, yeah, I've had a massage in like 10 years. I was like, I'll have a go on this.
Neck and shoulders.
Rachel's come in, she's like,
Indian head.
yeah. I didn't bother about my legs. Yeah. Rachel's gone, what's happened to your legs, Sam? I was like, what do you mean? She went, well, it used to be like, you're obviously quite muscly and powerful and that. Why? But yes, I've been sat in office for 10 years. Rachel, thanks very much.
Been withering away.
Yeah, you're not exactly massive yourself. Thanks very much. Anyway.
Quality.
Yeah. It wasn't good for me ego, but it raised money, didn't it? It was good and we all enjoyed it. So, what else am I going to talk about? Yes, so future guests. Right. What are we thinking, lads? I think this is, just quickly, we get feedback off the listeners.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more we do like just us and then we have the odd guest. I think we fired out a lot of guests the last episode. But
Do we say who we're talking to and planning on, or are we going to hold fire with
well,
that?
I think it's fair to mention that we're after Gareth Bale.
Yeah, he's done it, ain't he, Dave?
Aaron Ramsey.
We've been saying that for 18 months.
We got also. I think it's good to do a little bit about academy football and young footballers, because a lot of our listeners, in my export, I found, are dads who've got kids like in grassroots and academy football. I mentioned to Dave Longwell about getting him on in like this later meeting. You know, some of the academy coaches, and I think Shrewsbury Academy's doing a great job at the moment.
Let's get a translator on for Liam, won't we? With that,
And for Dave Longwell.
And for Dave Longwell, yeah.
That Wolverhampton accent is horrible. But you know, I think a lot of dads would appreciate that who listen to the show. Talking a little bit about academy football and grassroots football, because all our
the
boys,
ups and the downs of it, the experiences you go
boys
through.
are in it, aren't they? A little bit. It's what we probably, when us three meet up, we talk about our kids all the time and their different journeys and the ups and the million downs when we were losing our heads, and as parents, how you cope with it. You're trying to do the right thing, but I'm ready to throw Hector's football boots in the bin because he's 6 years old and he's been rubbish. And now you cope with things like that. So I think that would be a good one. I think we've got a few contacts, haven't we? I mean, your friend's just got the Shrewsbury assistant job, hasn't he, Marcus?
Yeah, Marcus Bignett, yeah. And I know Mickey Moore really well as well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
maybe we
two
do a bit of
brilliant
Shrewsbury
guys. Like,
We don't
honestly.
know Matt Taylor. Do anybody know?
No, I don't know Matt. But Mickey and Marcus, two brilliant guys, brilliant football men. Live for football would be really good for the club.
You do know Shrewsbury Town column next season?
Yes, well, they haven't told me I'm not, so hopefully.
Oh, that's just a rolling contract,
Yeah.
is it? That one?
Because I've just done an article for the show.
They just rang me up last week.
Sam Aiston.
Quality.
because obviously Steve Cottrell's gone. I know Dave's pleased about that. I'm joking. Cut that bit, Whit. How are we feeling about Steve Cottrell gone? Dave, Gav, will come to you first.
Why me? No, like from what I see from the outside, the team have been successful to a point. You know, not.
What do you mean? What do you mean by successful?
Well, I think there's got to be a bit of a realism around it. You know, Shrewsbury Town, are they expecting to compete? I don't know. From a budget perspective, these are genuine questions. Like from a budget perspective, do they expect to compete? From an infrastructure perspective, are they happy to be a mid-table pushing for playoffs team?
They spent a lot of money last year, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't really know. I'm not really. I think there's a lot of speculation. I think the people in the club will know for sure. And I think maybe, and I don't know why, maybe the reason for him going is maybe there was a lot of money spent. And where did they finish? 9th?
No.
It was slightly below. 12.
Yeah, below that, wasn't it?
Yeah, maybe 12 isn't where.
Tailed off a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they hit the ground running, didn't they? And maybe with the size of squad, maybe he went for more quality over quantity, and that caught up with them towards the back end of the season. But yeah, I mean, listen, you never wish for anyone to lose their job, but ultimately, you know, the chairman, who, for me, my personal opinion is the chairman's been brilliant for the football club. He makes the decisions, and obviously, as a supporter, you always have an opinion on only what you know. You can never truly know what's going on behind the scenes, and those guys who make the decisions at the club do. So I think you either trust them or you don't. I think from my perspective, you trust the chairman and he makes the decisions.
It would be really good, wouldn't it, to get the chairman on the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of the time.
Can you swing that for us, Dave?
You spoke to him today, hadn't you? So
I've spoken to him a little bit over recent weeks, and just in sort of passing conversation when I've been at the stadium and things like that, and he's excited with what's happening at the club. I worked under Steve Cottrell, and he's done a terrific job. When you look at the club when he came in, relegation fight to leaving, and we had ambitions of the playoffs at certain points this season. So on the pitch, he's done a terrific job, and he's a absolute football nut, just loves it, breathes it every single day. But I genuinely, a lot of people think that I know a lot of stuff which goes on in the football club. I don't, but obviously something's happened. It's been very cryptic what's been coming out of the club in recent months. So the chairman will have his reasons, and I will always back the chairman because I do know him, and I look at the job he's done over the last nearly 30 years, and at every single corner that he's been at, he's put the club first.
Yeah.
And a lot of people won't see that, but he does. When he took over the club, they were in a lot of debt, and where the club is at now is incredible from when he took over. And it was only in COVID when people were talking about the chairman, saying we're so lucky to have a chairman like this, the way the club's run, how much money they've got in the bank, how they can get themselves through COVID and things like that. And then more recently, that I've noticed fans are not happy with his decisions, but I guarantee it'll be nothing to do with Steve Cottrell's ability as a manager or anything like that, because everyone knows he's a good manager. The chairman's made the decision for the good of the football club. That's what he'll always do. He'll always put the club first. There'll be nothing malicious about it. He wants to make sure that club is in the best place moving forward, and everyone knows he's not going to be the chairman for a lot longer because of his age. He wants to give it on to somebody to take it to the next level, but until that moment comes, he's got to put the club first, and I think he's done that again without knowing the ins and outs. And I think also it feels like quite an exciting time. It's a huge transition at the football club at the moment. They've changed the whole management of how the club is run. They've got a football board in place or something on those lines. They brought a director of football in, which they've never had in Mickey Moore, and I've heard amazing things about Mickey Moore. You know him, Gav, but I've heard really good things about him. And I do think there might be a little bit of pain on the way because there's going to be a big turnover of players. There's a new style of football coming. We've got a young coach in Matt Taylor. I just hope that if we do start getting a few dodgy results, that the fans and everyone will stay behind the team a little bit, because it is a big transitional period. But I think it's exciting. I really do. And what they've done so far in the transfer market and things like that, it's looking good. I just hope they can start the season well and build a bit of momentum.
Yeah, from my perspective, knowing Mickey and knowing Marcus, I just think they're in really good hands. And like you're right, they're going to need a little bit of time because there will be a transition there. But you're talking about two proper football men. You know, for me, Mickey is very ruthlessly black and white on making good football decisions. A director of football role is absolutely where he should be. And he's done it brilliantly with Cheltenham. And Marcus is, if not the best, one of the best coaches I've worked with. And
when I heard he was coming in, I automatically thought of the conversations we've had, because you spoke about him in such a a high esteem, haven't you, when we've had those conversations about football? I think we've even spoken on the podcast before when we talked about people you've worked with.
Yeah.
And you've always spoke so highly about him. So that's a massive positive for Shrewsbury as well.
Taken a lot from obviously having worked with him, was his player coach under him, and it was a really good year for us. But he lives for football, and he's incredibly
fullback, wasn't he?
Say again, he was a fullback, and incredibly intelligent, incredibly insightful, sees the game others don't, very much systematic about the way he plays. And again, it's been obviously my Telford team would have played against some of his teams previously, and just it's been great to speak to him. And like, you can be a student under him, and he's still a student of the game. So in really good hands. And I like just if they can just give him a bit of time, a little bit of a transition, they will come good. 100% they will.
It's exciting though, isn't it? Like a young manager, I think that's what we want. I think it's a brilliant appointment.
Yeah, it'd have been easy for the manager and the chairman just to go for a manager which has been around the block quite a few times.
Exactly.
And I think maybe, and I don't know this, maybe looking from the outside in, because it's very much the outside in, when you look at a Steve Cotterill, it is quite, what do you want? I mean, it's terrible to say because, like, again, he's getting results. He's got keeping the football.
What do you mean by got results?
Well, I just feel like for a big part of the season they were.
It's their best ever, second best finish in 30.
Yeah, and
years.
obviously, you've got the FA Cup runs and all that. He's got a lot to obviously be praised upon. I think he's done brilliant. I think he's done better than okay.
And also when biggest budget ever.
Yeah, again, I don't know that side of it. I'm looking from the outside in, whether it's a big budget or a low budget. I
also look for Steve Cotterill when he came into the job, had that massive impact straight away when we were in trouble. And then he was managing from his hospital bed for 6 months. He deserves a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, and there's been a lot spoken about that. Regardless of that, I think he's done a really good job, a really, really good job. Maybe, does it feel like there was time needed to change? Steve is a person that's been a manager of a lot of football clubs. Does he stay in one place for a long period of time? No. For me, as much as he's done brilliantly and maybe deserves to stay in the job and will absolutely get another job and deserves to, it just feels, being selfish, thinking about Shrewsbury Town Football Club, it's very fresh, it's very new, it's very innovative.
How are the lads feeling rocking up the pre-season under Matt Taylor and Marcus?
Well, we've seen it a little bit on the socials, haven't we, with Luke and Dan and...
The lads are coming in, buzzing, exciting.
Yeah.
And they're not going to go and smash the league this season because they probably haven't got enough experience, probably not enough quality. But it's fresh, it's new, it's exciting.
And it's important to mention as well, at Forest Green, I was lucky enough to go there and shadow Rob Edwards in his role. And he had a director of football, Richard Hughes. And Richard's a relatively young director of football. I think he's now at Portsmouth. And Rob was a relatively young, actually his first full managerial role in the league, and they were incredibly successful. And it feels a little bit like that. Mickey's relatively young. Obviously, I've been looking at his cardigans and all that, sent him a message about his naughty cardigans, but he's...
The cardigan.
Yeah, naughty.
Will he come on the podcast?
Mickey...
It's difficult when they're in jobs, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Sometimes. They would in a heartbeat, careful. But again, they have to be careful, I agree.
What a job for Matt Taylor as well.
It feels very much like that Richard Hughes, Rob Edwards scenario at Forest Green. It's it's not innovative now in football, but to Shrewsbury Town, this is a very new, innovative, fresh way of approach to football, and it feels very much like the Forest Green approach. You being a
manager and having that experience, you put yourself in Matt Taylor's shoes. Yeah. What a job to come into in terms of the football club, how stable it is. I know they've had to have budget changes and things like that. Working under someone with the experience of Mickey Moore, just being able to go on the training pitch and coach every day and get your philosophy across, knowing that everything else is being taken care of. Really, you're going to be in agreement with signers and things like that, but all of that, all the stuff you're doing, ringing players all the time, talking about money, talking about contract lengths, he doesn't need to worry about that. He's coming in and he's just coaching. Yeah, I think it's like an amazing opportunity.
Not knowing Matt, but obviously knowing Marcus and Mickey, if he's in the line with them, which he's going to have to be, of course, he will spend every waking moment working for the football club, going way above and beyond. He'll be so excited and want to achieve, because that's what young, hungry managers do.
And he'll be like, I know what you were like, Gav, and what you're like. He'll be working 24/7, won't he?
Yeah,
he will be so hungry. And I know what I think. If you've got a Shrewsbury job, you'd be exactly the same. I say Matt Taylor's been similar to you. He's the same age as you, Gav, isn't he?
Yeah.
You look older,
41
but
years.
he's the same
He
age.
looks a bit older than me. But
No, but it's like, he's just what an opportunity. He's got
amazing for him. Yeah, I'm so excited for him. I'm so excited for
them.
them.
He had Walsall, but again,
Yeah, it's nothing.
It's like being a newly qualified teacher. It's like being an apprentice on the building
But again,
site.
the Walsall
You
thing, he
learn.
took somebody else's team. He was there for a small period of time and did the best he could.
No one's done well at Walsall.
So anyway, any Shrewsbury fans listening, get behind them.
Yeah,
any booing,
absolutely.
Any booing.
It's exciting.
I think they'll be
isn't it?
successful, and I'll tell you one thing: it will not be the want of trying, because they will give everything for it.
Love that. That's all fans want to see, isn't it? Have a right go. Right,
Okay.
anything else you want to talk about? Like, just quickly, what about Wolves, Dave, next season? What about Neves going? I thought we'd get him on the podcast. It's going to be harder now, isn't it?
Well, we're not going to Saudi. We're not going to Saudi. Oh,
We're
right,
not.
okay,
We're
sorry. Cancel that, Wicks, please.
Wow, there's money and there's money, isn't there?
Yeah.
Well, like it's just something
Yeah,
you
mate.
could never.
Can he not sponsor the podcast? Is he not up for that?
So we're not having Neves coming on the podcast
Yeah.
anyway. That's gone.
Yeah. They're keeping Lopetegui, which is a massive thing for him. He showed how good he was last year, and they've really got financial fair play restrictions. So you've seen they've sold players. They sold Ruben. Connor's gone. Connor Cody's gone.
Yeah.
Nathan Collins has gone as we speak, and there's talk about Max Kilman going as well to Napoli. So
They're going to struggle.
yeah. Well, I don't think they struggle. I think they're trying to get everyone out and getting all the money together, so the manager knows what he can then go and spend. That's what it comes across as, and I think they'll do well. I think they'll build on last year.
They'll do well?
Yeah, I do. I think they'll build on last year. All depends. They need a number 9. They need a striker.
Yeah.
But
I think they're gonna find
and they
it
need to
hard.
refresh those 4 positions a little bit. But yeah, you can't.
Well,
It's hard to
Dave
replace
thinks-
Ruben.
Dave thinks they're going to do well. I think they're going to struggle. Go on, Gav. What do you think? Because we'll go.
When I say mid-table, I say mid-table.
truth-
I say mid-table. I say mid-table.
Games that we'll go to the
Yeah,
most between the three.
yeah, we
of
will
us.
do that. Yeah.
Probably go to a
In
few of those
truth,
games.
I don't know enough about. I've not kept a close enough eye on it.
Oh, it's
So.
like, it's not it's all about Brackley. There's other things happening in football.
But Brackley, I think, will do really well.
And then Bulbrook School opens in September. Gav's up. Dave's up for a round of golf with anyone.
Here's one for you.
Oh, go on.
You're playing for a top team in the Premier League.
Yeah.
You're on 150 grand a week,
Yeah.
but a Saudi team comes in, offers 400 grand a week. What are you doing?
What age am I?
You are. I'm gonna give 2 to that. 2
Give the whole
scenarios.
time who you play for and
give
what
me a
age
bit
you
of
are.
Okay,
Context,
so
give a bit
you
of
are.
context.
You're currently playing for Aston Villa. You're on 120 grand a week. You are 25 years old, and a Saudi team have come in and said they'll
you
double
play for
your
your
wages.
country.
No, you're on the periphery.
I'm not going.
You're not going.
Not 25.
Okay, you're now overnight. You've blinked, and you're 32.
I'm going.
So just you think an age thing?
Yeah, 25. Why do you go? Why do you go?
Because 150 to 300. I mean, if you're on 150 grand a week
No, I'm going.
Oh, then.
Yeah.
I'll
No,
upgrade-
I think.
at 25,
Yeah,
though.
I'll upgrade my helicopter.
Yeah.
What, is that going to be like?
No,
changing?
no. It's,
Well, it depends.
I feel
Hopefully,
like,
a helicopter
I suppose
flies
it
better.
I'm more. Obviously, I'm a teacher on it, so I'm more about the social aspect.
Community and
Dave's
that.
just about community. Dave's all about money.
This means
so
I
Dave
can do
will
more
go.
for charity. No, like I look at Ruben's situation, and like I don't know what the exact numbers are, but imagine Ruben was on, I don't know, 60, 70 grand a week at Wolves. I don't know what he's on, maybe 100 grand, I don't know, but he's reportedly been offered like £500,000 a week plus in Saudi, no tax. That's not just looking after Ruben, that's looking after the next 2,000 years
Generational wealth.
of Neves, isn't it? And I think he's 26 going out there, 3-year contract. Even if he's only out there for a year, 2 years, as long as he stays in and around the Portugal squad,
I feel
come back. I think it's too good to turn down. I really do. No tax over there, so that is take-home money.
I don't blame him at all. Like, everybody does what you want to do. I'm just saying, I personally wouldn't do that. I just think, like,
I mean, it's not like they're going to live shabby out there either, is it? What do you reckon his gaff will be like out there?
Can you come back to the? Do you think about?
Do you reckon they're putting him up in digs?
We have got Jack Price coming on, haven't we? You've done something a little bit similar where he went to America at a young age and stuff.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So it'd be quite good.
Because Jack could have easily been staying in the Championship, couldn't he? So to make that move, that is an interesting
I
one.
wouldn't blame anybody either way, though. Like I wouldn't I would have stayed. Dave would have gone, but each their own, isn't it? Everybody's different. Everybody's got different circumstances, different family history.
I think, but again, no, you're talking about the circumstance of being on the periphery of the national team. Like Ruben Neves, I think will be in the next 2 years in and around the Portugal squad, regardless of whether he's
in 2 years' time, even though he's playing out there.
Yeah, I do.
Don't know
Yeah,
about that.
But he's sort of pretty much starting most games now for them
Yeah,
in
at
the
the
red.
moment,
So
he's playing in the Prem.
so that was my big thing. If he can stay in the Portugal squad, then Even used to go out there for a couple of years. Like he's got 3 years.
If he can't get in the Portugal squad, he's going to have 500 grand net a week.
Which is great. Like, there's family or sound. Like, I mean,
Ruben, just to let you know, you haven't made the squad this week. Oh no! All right, let me just get out of the pool and dry myself off. I agree. I agree.
And I get your argument. If you're earning 100 grand a week already, then surely that's enough. Of course it is. But then if someone, think of the difference you can make, regardless of even your family, think of the difference you can make with that sort of money.
The reason I ask, because I'm completely torn. I think I could not make that decision.
The good thing is, like, Dave's just gone that way, and I'm
on the fence.
Way, so I respect the difference of opinion. I hate that when someone sits on the fence. Like, be decisive.
I think I'd go, but I'd probably stay.
Shock money, brother.
Such a tough one. You've got to be in you're absolutely right. You've got to be in a specific scenario, haven't you? I agree. If I was younger, I think you've got to just think about the rewards, the trophies, the playing in the best leagues. I think if you're slightly older, I'm gone. But what's Ruben?
26.
Oh, that's like a big call, isn't it? It's so tough. And it's not. He's not an elite player. As in, we're talking.
He's just below the level.
He's literally just below. And it's not like he's like, again, greatest respect. It's not like he's playing at I don't know, a Villa or a.
I'm really surprised.
Everton,
a Premier League club didn't come into him like Man United at 40 million. I know he went for 45 million, something like that.
Well, you said to me halfway through the season,
but Wolves would have not got that much money for him because in the last year of his contract. So Wolves always thought, wow.
You said to me halfway through the season he'll be gone. You said he'll be gone. Top 4 club. You said.
Yeah,
to me.
I genuinely thought. I thought that.
He said top 4, but I didn't think he meant top 4 in Saudi.
No, yeah.
But I seriously think that he would better Man United. I think at the moment he would better Liverpool. I think there's only Man City.
Newcastle.
Great sign for Newcastle. And then obviously he's close to going to Barcelona. I think he could play. There'd only be 4 or 5 teams in the world, I think, that wouldn't benefit having Ruben Neves in the team. So it's a huge decision for him to go out there.
It's a massive coup for them. I mean, especially now.
He's the biggest one out of everyone who's gone because he is like in his prime.
Other than obviously the dog, the daddy. Yeah. Cristiano Ronaldo.
But that's like a retirement thing, isn't it?
Amazing, isn't he?
I think that's the biggest one. Someone going in the middle of their career.
Yeah. No, I totally get. He's a massive coup, and the thing is, loads of them are going to follow now because they're just going to go, well, you know, the heat isn't on me; it's on Ruben or Cristiano Ronaldo or Benzema. Benzema's obviously another big one, isn't he?
Just before we sign off, because it's a welcome back episode, and we've done 57 minutes. It's a long one, that, isn't it? I mean, even if I have to cut out the bits about Dave not liking football.
You've literally not ever mentioned that one. But
just before we go, though, I mean, obviously it's sports day time of year, isn't it? I mean, you know what? I mean, we've all been to our kids' sports days, haven't we?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my kids' sports day, they didn't have the dad's race. Did they have the dad's race? Any of yours?
They did, but I was wearing jeans, so
you were wearing jeans. And Dave couldn't do it. Gavin, there was a sports day. At your daughter Meadows.
There was,
village school.
Was there a parents' race?
Meadow ran. So Gav's daughter won her race. Fantastic. Represented the Cowan family really well. Then there was a mum's race. So obviously Gavin's wife, Meadows' mum, ran in the race. Obviously, once again, brought glory to the Cowan.
She was on the podium.
By winning the race.
She was on the podium.
Then there was a dad's race. Bearing in mind, it's a little village school. Obviously, there's not a lot. There's not thousands of children, and obviously one of the dads there happens to be the manager of Brackley, ex-professional footballer. You'd think, relatively good shape. Obviously not what he once was, but still in good nick.
He's obviously the bookie's favourite, isn't he?
Yeah, the bookie's favourite. It's a dad's race. I'm going to go with the ex-professional footballer, 6'3", like athlete over there.
6'5".
Especially as he had his spikes on.
Especially as he had his spikes on and did a race and start and brought his blocks with him.
I was dressed like Linford Christie.
I mean, it depends on how you look at it. Unfortunately, despite his daughter and his wife's success, Gavin only managed a bronze medal.
Well, it was silver. I really appreciate you bringing it up. Yeah, I really appreciate you bringing it up.
Just talk us through the race. It's not just a football chat. I think we should concentrate on our athletics.
I think sometimes you've got to think about the community, and like you can't just take everything as a family. Sometimes people have got to step back and take one for the team. And I felt like I did that.
If you break the race down, where do you think it went wrong?
What happened? You got a good start. Did you get a good start?
I can't even blame the start. The start was really good.
It started well. Like, on the
Cheated,
beating
went
bang,
early.
The beating bang.
Cheated, yeah, cheated.
So you out the blocks. You come out the blocks.
It wasn't the best start. It was. There was a little bit of a dip in the track.
Where was the bloke in the jeans and the hoodie at this time when you started? Were you like
he wasn't.
ahead,
He came dressed. He was ready. He came full on. Yeah, he came. He'd been training all year. He was absolutely ready.
How old was he?
We were halfway down a track, and there was a bit of a dip in the track. And I felt like there was a bit of a jolt in there, and it slowed me down somewhat. And I think that basically was it. No, the truth is, at no stage,
not Olympic standard. Is that what
I came second, and at no stage was I anywhere in the lead. And second.
I mean, there's a little bit of debate. I mean, you were unhappy apparently at the finish line because there was a bit of a commotion. There was a steward's inquiry because he was quite young, so you weren't convinced he was a dad.
No,
Gavin suspects he was an older brother. So there was a bit of a kerfuffle at the finish line. I mean, I think everybody meant
we had a little bit of a roll around at the end.
Mr. Cowan.
Yeah, I demanded a rerun. The worst thing was
the video footage is actually with Mr. Cowan's solicitors.
The worst thing was I genuinely like hurt myself as I was running. This didn't have any impact on the race, by the way, so no excuses. So then, obviously, you don't want to hobble away because obviously then people are going to think you use it as an excuse. So I calmly walked away, and then my youngest son's sports day, they never run the dad's race ever. So I'm stood there fully confident.
Because it probably thought that you would smash it.
Yeah, fully excited, but knowing now I've got a slight
this is a different
problem.
School. This is
It'd be great to tell the story, but anyway, there's a slight problem in my leg, and I've got very tight trousers on, just to accentuate the quads. But then obviously they then say there's going to be a dad's race, so my heart jumps into my mouth, knowing I'm going to run backwards.
You've got medal in your pocket from the morning.
Had to run that one, and I think out of about 72 parents, I finished 71st. So I was humiliated on the day. Public humiliation is great for humility, I've realised.
It keeps your ego in check.
It keeps your ego in check. Yeah,
I think
and I had things like, I'm 42 now. My trousers were really tight. I hurt my leg. Yeah. But no one was giving me anything. And it was the expectation of people saying, "Go on, you're going to smash it." And I was like, "I'm really not, honestly." So I understand now why dads fall over, because they've clearly been quicker in the past. But there was a lot of people that fell over, by the way, especially in my son's sports day. But they have a belief in their head that they're as quick as what they used to be. So their body goes, but their legs won't go with them. So they topple over that way, and that's how they fall over. And I've experienced that for the first time this year. Not that I was ever as much quicker as I was, but...
It's good though, because you got to understand what I was like for 45 minutes in Dave's chat. That's what I felt like. That's what I felt like for 45 minutes.
But I'm shattered now because I've been in training for the last 5 days, ready for next year. So... I'm proper. Next year. I'm not even going. I'm turning up in spikes. My quads are going to be the size of that
headband,
fruit machine.
Like ready to.
Full on ready. Yeah. Right. No, it was a good day. The kids loved it, and they were proud. They were proud of Daddy.
Your son and daughter didn't love it because they've obviously had to deal with it.
Getting bullied now.
Being embarrassed, but getting bullied at school. Anyway, so first episode back. How did that feel?
Good fun. I've been looking forward to it.
I mean, because
we've had a while off. So, I really look forward to it. It's, good laugh.
It could keep going, couldn't it? I know we've got to rein it in now, but it feels like we could just keep talking and keep talking. It's brilliant. Loved it.
I think what we want to do is, as well, a couple of little live shows, like locally, in a couple of pubs around Shrewsbury, and just get a couple of guests, and not a Theatre Severn, because...
Costs too much.
It costs too much. We can't deal with Theatre Severn taking 98% of the takings. So if we do it in a couple of, local pubs... it'd be quite good just to get a bit more of an intimate thing.
Nice feedback, wouldn't it?
We're going to have to charge, so we'll have to charge, not a lot, but charge a tenner or something.
Yeah,
charge a tenner to come in.
We'll have a guest, won't we?
We'll get whoever we get. Luke, we can get Tolly, we can get Mickey Brown, Spinky.
I think it's just getting people together, won't it? It'll be brilliant. And I think what we should do is maybe put this little snippet of the podcast out just to see if we can get some feedback from people and see if they'd be interested.
And we can go to a few venues and just get imagine on a Friday night. 7 o'clock.
Can't do Friday, Sam. Can't do Friday. It's like game Saturday.
Right.
Dave, you can do Fridays, can't you?
Yeah, I'll say.
Dave's golf, we have to check the calendar for his golf, isn't it?
But on a serious note,
Monday to Thursday golf.
On a serious note, people say about if you're a coach or a manager, it's all right now because you can have a drink because it's not like you're like the fog that it has on your brain when you're trying to think sharp and trying to critically think about the game.
You see,
I won't
do
now.
a Friday.
Honestly, because I've done it. I've like thought to myself, I'm just a manager now. I'm just a coach. It's fine. It's like the next day you wake up with I don't know if you've had a couple of glasses of wine. Obviously, never go too silly anyway. I'm not massive like that. But if you had a couple of glasses of wine or a few pints, it takes the edge off. So you're trying to be sharp, critically think about the game. Yes, I just don't anymore.
You'll still come, just not drink.
Yeah, come along.
After the live show, I was working the next day.
Yeah, exactly. Dave,
Actually was.
Dave. That's what you got to be more like Dave.
Yeah.
Now.
I'll just
So
come
Friday-
and be absolutely steaming.
Friday, we'll-
I'll just come get steaming. I'll be fine.
We'll book a couple of little venues somewhere in Shrewsbury, and we'll get people to come along, like pay like a tenner a ticket. They come along. We'll do a live show. We'll get a couple of guests. Bit of entertainment, isn't it? We'll have a couple of pints, a tenner to get in.
Yeah, great fun.
And then we'll have a little,
All
we'll
the
have a little
Brackley
bit of
fans will
chat
be there.
afterwards.
Brackley fans will come
Brackley
down.
fans will be travelling
They'll be
up
all
from
over
Brackley,
it.
won't they, for it? Hour and a half.
Stay at yours. Stay at yours.
I know, right? Yeah.
He'll be all right.
He'll be chuffed for that. That'd be great. Yeah, we'll do that. Definitely do that. A couple of live shows. Wits, you'll be up for that, won't you? Hey, what about Wits? Can need to mention Wits as well. We've made the difficult decision to give Wits a third series.
Yeah.
Involved.
Touch and go for a while, wasn't
Pondered
it?
over that for ages, didn't we?
Touch and go.
There wasn't much in the market, though, was there?
It was 2-1, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was 2-1 Wits. I voted no. These two
We were
wanted to
looking
keep
at
it.
possible replacements, weren't we? We thought, like for Gav, we thought about getting Mark Wright, your Liverpool England centre off. We thought about replacing me, but Matthew McConaughey's busy. He's in America filming. We thought about Dave, but
Oliver Kahn's not free.
Oliver Kahn's, Edwin van der Sar's busy. That was good then. Thanks very much, everybody.
Brilliant. Can't wait for the
Thanks
next
to
one.
Budgeon for not sponsoring us for the first season. Thanks to Tesco for sponsoring.
No, don't say that. That's liable. That's
Thanks
liable.
to DFS. I don't know.
You
We
need
need a good
sofa.
one.
Yeah, what
And
do
a
you
real
need?
big thanks to
Get you 80% off a sofa.
A real big thanks to Bowbrook Primary School for sponsoring
Yes,
the podcast.
thank you.
Thanks so much.
Primary school, yes, as well. If anybody wants to have a look on the school, just get in touch. Available through the website.
Thanks, everyone.
See ya.
Bye.
In the Stiffs with Budgeon Motors. Budgeon Motors are on Stafford Park in Telford and Featherbed Lane in Shrewsbury. For all your car needs, contact Budgeon now.